Okay, so in this video I'm gonna take you through quickly the steps around setting up your widgets on your site. You've probably heard references to widgets in other videos of mine, or you've in various elements that you've looked up about WordPress, you've heard references to widgets and what are widgets. In the case of WordPress, the widgets are the pieces of content that show up over here on your right. They show up in your sidebar, and there's a multitude of widgets that you can have on your WordPress site depending on the type of theme that you have and also the various plugins that you put in. There are also options, for example, with the theme that I have, I've been able to basically create a home page here just with widgets, where I've sort of inserted a video embed from YouTube of a widget. I have a widget here for my Instagram photographs, and these are plugins that I've downloaded to allow me to do this for my Twitter feed and so forth. So to access your widgets, you just go to your drop-down menu. You can go all the way back to your dashboard, but it is one of the options here that's available. As you see, my theme allows for quite a variation of widgets, and in the sense that depending on how I want my pages to look, it gives me a lot of options. So your theme may only have one option here, just the standard right sidebar one that we saw just here in my blog earlier, or in one of my pages. So many of them just have this as the standard sidebar that you can place widgets on. And going back to the widgets, so if we look at that, this is actually the top one here is my basic sidebar for all my pages and posts. I keep that pretty much the same. I just change things around a bit for my home page. And generally you'll have the subscribe box widget. Again, I'll just take you through what I have on my site and maybe walk you through it here. There we go. So I have a subscribe box widget here where I basically have set that up on my theme already. There are plugins if your theme doesn't come with a subscribe to my blog type widget. There are plugins that you can download for that. Another common one is to just have your plain search option, which I have here as well, and this is if people gives people the option to search words on your site. I also have an additional email capture form here for these WordPress videos that people can access. And then I have this little map here that is a plugin that I installed, and then it gave me the piece of code that I put into the widget. Now by default, you will generally find that there are about 10 options of widgets available with your standard WordPress upload or your 2012 or 2011 template. And because of my theme and also because of various plugins that I've installed, I have a lot more options here, but you'll generally see that the standard ones would be like to put an RSS feed, to put recent comments in, to put pages in, to put recent posts up, calendars. You may want to put your categories, and essentially you can play around with the widgets. You can move them around and they will automatically save. As you saw, that little circle was going up there. So if you don't like the placement on your sidebar, you can play around with that. So just really go experiment with widgets, see what you like. Quite simply, if you decide you want to remove one of the items, you can just kind of drop it into thin air like so. Or if you want to save it for a later time, you can also just drag and drop them into this area here. I'm just going to place the search back in there. Sometimes by default it kind of does go into that area, but to be on the safe side, if you really want to save it for a later time, all you do is pick that up and place it in there. So yeah, just go have fun, experiment. Also keep in mind that sometimes with your plugins, you could be getting a little confused. Why is this plugin not showing up? Where are the options for this plugin? Let me show you an example here of a plugin, for example, that may not have particular options that yeah, so let's look even at this one that I have of the display tweets. I'd suddenly go into the settings page and I'd be, okay, fine, I've set this up, I've set up my consumer key so that my feed from my Twitter feed comes in, but how do I get this to show up on my website now? It's not giving me any indication on how to do that, and these are all the setting options that I have. Usually what will be the case is that this essentially has updated the widget part. So when you go to your widgets, you will see that there will be an option in there that has suddenly showed up. Oh look, tweets. That is not a standard element of a WordPress site, and as you see, I think I have it on my alternate. I have my tweets here. So I basically just dragged this across and I just gave it a title, and as a result, when I go into my home page, I have one or two of my tweets come up in that feed right there. So that's good to keep in mind with regard to some of the plugins that you download, and you may get a little concerned that it's not too clear then how you get that particular feature to show up. That's pretty much how you do it. I should make reference to a very commonly used widget, which is the text widget, and this one is the type of one that is used. If you saw my how to embed YouTube videos video, it shows you that basically all you do is put in a text box widget, and YouTube gives you the code that goes into that so that you have the video that shows up. Also commonly people maybe want to put in their Facebook page box that you see on sites. I know I don't have one on mine, but we have one on Zampa. You know, like this example here. Now this is something that it's not your site that develops the code for that, it's something that Facebook gives you the code for, and you would just go copy that code, get it off of Facebook, and then paste it into a widget. So I'll actually just show you that particular widget of Zampa's. We have it in their footer widget. I think that's widget 2 we have it in. Yeah. So you see this whole piece of code here, that's something that Facebook gives you when you give it the information to let it know which particular page you want to feature. And you can just go copy that in, put it into a text box, save it, and you're set. Your site will then show that piece of code in a widget. So I hope that was helpful for you. Just go play around with widgets. You know, make sure the size fits. You should know that if any images or video that you're putting in, they really, in a right sidebar, they should not exceed 300 pixels width. That's an important thing to keep in mind. All right then, bye.